Hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. I'm outside. We have sunshine again. That rain system passed through, so had to wear the shades. I didn't really want to squint into the sun here. I've had a few people write me lately through different places, emails, made a couple of comments and things, and they're always asking me about weight loss. And a lot of times they're telling me they're struggling. They're eating a raw vegan diet, or they're eating a high carb vegan diet, and they're not getting the weight loss results that they were hoping for, or that they were expecting on this lifestyle. First of all, I think about it when somebody asks me that, and just as a blanket question and me putting a blanket statement, I don't feel like I'm qualified to just talk about weight loss across the board, because I believe we're all different when it comes to weight loss, and our bodies are different. I've told this to people that have watched this channel for a while. I've told this story a bunch of times, but just for reference, I like to bring it back in. I can only relate to my story. Now, I was a fat kid. Well overweight as a kid, lost weight, and then, I was kind of I was always a bigger guy, had weight, carried a lot of weight through college. Highest ever weight was 245, and I was like everybody else. Anytime I tried to lose weight, it was just, it was kind of a struggle, and it just didn't work out for me. Went vegan and I just couldn't keep the weight on. I don't know. For somebody that had always had to do like everybody else, it wasn't like I was a naturally lean person or a naturally skinny person or had that background. I was always a big person, and anytime I needed to lose weight, it was a struggle for me, just like I see other people struggling. Although with a little bit of discipline and stuff, I was able to do it, but it took a lot of discipline back then. Once I found the raw vegan, yeah, it just dropped away, and actually the problem became keeping the weight on and not losing it. So just from my own experience of, like, number one, my mother was overweight a good portion of her life. Now that she's in her 80s, about 12 years ago, she lost a good bit of it. So any reason, my mother was overweight a good bit of her life. And the reason I mention that is just because if anybody wants to talk about genetics, so my mother was overweight. I was overweight as a kid, not an easy loser. I got on this program, and like I say, weight just dropped. But that was just my experience. Everybody's experience is different. But my first thing is, and this is what I've done with friends before, and it doesn't even have to be relating to the raw vegan lifestyle. I can even remember this back in the past, when I've been in my healthy stages and was real fit, going to the gym, losing weight, eating well. And, I've always had friends, or a couple of female friends here and there, and they would tell me, they can't lose weight. Or I can think of a stream of people in life, all throughout life, that would tell me they couldn't lose weight. One thing I would find, and this would be my very first suggestion before you do anything else, is to be very honest with yourself and assess how you're eating. Because a lot of times people are fooling themselves. Like, I remember having a friend that told me, and I believe she did have some thyroid issues, and she might have even been taking medication. I know she went and saw a doctor for her thyroid, but even with that, now thyroid, I don't know, when you get into dealing with not being able to lose weight because of a thyroid, that's, like I say, that's way more complicated than I'm able to explain, or that I even really understand. So if you have thyroid issues, and I'm going to make a blanket statement here about a lot of different issues. If you've got a thyroid issue, don't talk to somebody that's looked around and studied about thyroid issues. Talk to somebody that has experienced having a thyroid issue and has come out on the other side of it. And do that with everything. If you're dealing with somebody if you want to know something about ulcerative colitis, don't talk to the people that are book learners, or that have learned things from hearing them. Talk to the people that have healed themselves, or talk to the people that have used somebody's methods or whatever to heal results. So, for weight loss, if it's not, something like a medical condition, a thyroid, what have you, you got to be real honest with yourself. Because I've had people before in the past, they're like, well, I can't lose weight. I always hate to hear that, because there's very, very few people that medically, or they just have a reason they can't lose weight. And a lot of the times people are sneaking stuff. Like this one particular friend I'm thinking of, she was fairly healthy back what we considered healthy then. But, she, over the course, she was a social drinker. She'd probably have I would say an average week, and she wasn't a heavy drinker, average week, she'd have 10 drinks in the week, 10, 12, 15 drinks throughout the course of the week, because we were living in an area that was very social, where you socially drank all the time. And the point being is I just started, and I never really told her, but I said it in kind of a diplomatic way, but I just started kind of pointing out the little things that she wasn't noticing. Like, okay, well, you're drinking this on a regular basis. I do see you go down and eat this at the ice cream parlor 3 times a week. So she was kind of being healthy, but I could, you could pick about half a dozen to 8 things that she was doing that you could see were just kind of sabotaging weight loss and would make it even harder for her to lose weight with the thyroid issue. So, it's just not one size fits all, but you've got to be real with yourself. Like I say, if I had money, I was thinking about this just a little bit earlier. I was coming out of the grocery store. If I had money, a lot of times I would just have fun and play. Like when somebody told me, okay, well, I can't lose weight, I'd say, you know what, I'm sending you a plane ticket. You're coming down, you're going to stay with me for 3 months in Costa Rica, and I'm going to monitor you. And then I would want to see, I'm just a skeptic in everything in life, so don't take any offense. I would have to see it for myself. I would have to see them eat very clean for 3 months and not lose weight before I believe it. And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe we do have some other issues going on here. I mean, the metabolic damage, I do believe metabolic damage occurs. I don't believe it occurs to the extent that a lot of people would have you believe. They almost have you believe that if you've ever deprived yourself of food for any period, you've damaged your metabolism. I'll tell you straight up, my hand to God, swearing it, that in the beginning of this lifestyle, I was restricting. I didn't mean to restrict, but I was not eating enough. And even when I was not eating adequate calories, my weight was dropping. Now, I do believe metabolic damage exists, and for people that have, had eating disorders, which I know nothing about, and I don't even step into that subject, that's a whole different ball game right there. But as far as metabolic damage, unless somebody has just had some really severe periods of restriction, or if that just happens to be your body. Sometimes people have more of a problem with something than other people do. But I think people are blaming too much of this not being able to lose weight on metabolic damage. That's really about all I've got, is you've just got to be real with yourself and evaluate. And then when you've evaluated, and if you are real with yourself, and if you are one of those people that doesn't try to fool yourself, and you can look in the mirror and say, okay, I know for a fact, I've paid attention, I've looked at it, that I am eating how I should be eating, then it's just kind of like I always talk about tweaking. These are all just my recommendations and little tips anyway. Instead of making big swings, I mean, we don't have to be obsessive with this lifestyle about calories, but calories still do matter. I mean, it's not like you can just disregard calories whatsoever. What I've told a few people is adjust your calories when you're doing anything. Like when I'm trying to bulk up and gain a little weight or put on some muscle, working out, I'm not going to go from eating, I wouldn't have gone from eating like 2,400 calories a day to 3,400. Like I wouldn't have jumped like 1,000 calories, which would be almost 33%, more or less. I'm guesstimating on my math of what I'm eating. Play in increments. If you're having a problem losing weight, my first advice, this is not scientific, this is not from a professional, this is just what I would tell you to do, and I would say, hey, take it with a grain of salt, is I would play with how much you're eating just by going down a little bit. I would play, well, first, like I say, if you've, you have to be even more analytical, okay, with the lifestyle, with the raw vegan lifestyle, or even with just a high carb vegan lifestyle. I want this to be mostly for high carb vegan people. You got to look, are you eating a lot of, if you're raw, are you eating a lot of the gourmet? Is there a lot of fat in your diet? Are you getting proper nutrition? Are you eating things that are actually feeding your body? If you're going to reduce a little bit, if you don't know your exact calories, or if you're not sure how many calories your body requires, play with it in small chunks. In other words, like if you're not losing weight, or if you're having a struggle losing weight, maybe, and like I say, that's where the units of bananas come in, because we average our bananas out at about 100. So just drop, drop 2 or 3 bananas a day. See how you feel. Do that for a while. Do it. See how it is. Maybe you need to drop 1 or 2 more. Maybe you need to add 1 or 2 more. It's just all a little tweaking, but don't jump from one extreme to another. Don't go from doing this to all the way over here. I think we learn more, and I think we can move forward more when we kind of move in smaller increments and we observe what we're doing and use that kind of, to see how much further, how much less we need to go. Are you getting exercise? I'm going to throw a lot of things in there. Are you getting exercise? Are you drinking plenty of water every day? A lot of times you might be tending to overeat because you're thirsty. You're not hydrated enough. Get your body moving. You've got to get that body moving. Now, for some people, I don't know. As far as losing the weight, I could have done it with 0 movement. But that's just not good for you anyway, whether you're trying to lose weight or not. And I think for some people, they are going to need that movement to get that. Maybe if you are having metabolic issues, that exercise helps with eating, also helps rev that metabolism back up. So what I'm getting at is you've got to do a little bit of work. You've got to do a little bit of work. Now, I don't say that with any shame when I said, like, I'm not qualified to answer the weight loss question, because I'm just admitting that. I see so many people out there in groups and on YouTube channels, and I don't mind people saying their opinion, but they're speaking with authority. Like they talk like a boss. They talk about this is this, this is that, and you're going to lose weight, and you need to do this, 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 and this. They talk with such authority. I'm like, what are they? They're talking out of their asses there. Because one size does not fit all, and a lot of times I just don't feel like the people are qualified to give, like, they're qualified to give an opinion. Everybody's qualified to give an opinion, but they're not qualified to preach it like they, like it's a fact. Or anyway, I'm not comfortable doing that. But just a few random, rambling facts, maybe things to think about if you're struggling losing weight. Repeating myself over and over and over and over. It's your responsibility. Put in the time. Don't just look at something and just start following it. That's what I used to do years ago. You'd find a new diet and it had all the instructions, and you just, like a little robot, went down the line and followed it. Take your health into your own hands, and if you're not losing weight and you want to lose weight, take your weight loss into your own hands. Study, read a lot of different people, look at a lot of different approaches, look at your diet, look at your lifestyle, and figure it out. But I think don't ever get discouraged on the high carb vegan lifestyle, because I think for sustained weight loss, we've seen people lose weight, and I know when I see my friends and stuff that are trying to lose weight, and even they do lose 20, 30, 40 pounds on the standard American diet, just maybe like the lighter standard American diet, they always gain it back. I've been, I got to my low weight, I've actually built back up, but I'll never, unless something radically happens to my body, I will never, this is for life. It's easy. You don't creep up like people do in the sad world year by year. Anyhow, really, I'm starting to ramble now. Hope you guys like this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and hope you're off to a good week. One more day here in the States. Tomorrow's my last day, and then it's back to Costa Rica Wednesday. See you guys. Peace.